So the next chapter in Staring at the Sun is Edge of 17, Send My Love. So Send My Love is Adele, and Edge of 17 is, I think, an upcoming chapter, but it's like a song that is associated with me trying to remember all these memories when I was 17. So let's get started. On a cold day in December 2020, I found myself in that familiar position, in a love triangle, or more like a love squared. That day that I had to make a decision, go home or ruin my marriage, driving and listening to music that is burned in my core memory forever, thinking about how I got here. I wish I could blame this entire situation on it being a rookie mistake. I am not a rookie. This is not my first dance with this devil in green. When I turned my turn signal on and turned down the road, I decided to leave that old friend in my past. Also, just a disclaimer, I'm rewriting Staring at the Fire. I will never rewrite Staring at the Sun until an editor tells me to. It's like my foundation. I go back and that's what adds to all these books because I'll read a chapter and I'll be like, well, that didn't happen. And so, just so that it's known, everything is written in January to April of 2021, and I don't edit it and I don't change it. I don't even add to it. I add to my new books. So just so that's known. So driving and listening to music that is burned in my core memory, forever thinking about how I got here. I wish I could blame this entire situation on it being a rookie mistake. I am not a rookie, and this is not my first dance with the devil in green. When I turned my turn signal on and turned down that road, I decided to leave my old friend in the past. He is just someone I used to know. That old friend from drama class was never good for me. He knew that I needed someone stable. He was never stable. Our pain together would have caught us on fire. Our passion would have set us both ablaze. This is something he knew. He knew when he seen me cry from phone calls with my parents. He did not want to add his pain onto mine. See, this boy from drama class was around for it all, around for my pain, each disappointment, missed meal, parents MIA, sister fight, grandma's death, boys from the summer making me mad. He was there, listening the same way my fire buddy was. Years that had linked me to both boys, linked through the internet. I was just a teenage dream. They were both mine. I just could not decide, both pulling at my heart. When my buzz was hitting, I would send 2 messages. Hello, friend. Hey, buddy. Just seeing which one would bite. Who wants to talk to their favorite pen pal? And over the years of conversations, I was in love. I loved them both. They knew. Everyone knew. The Hey Buddy lived a million miles away. He was my top choice, but he lived so far away. He was better for me. Just a good dude. However, he had a wandering eye. Did not want to be held down by a girl from another life. The Hello friend lived right down the road, and it was very clear he does not want anything. Well, there is always one thing he wanted from me. He wants me to be quiet with my accusations, unless I wanted to try again, still pulling my head behind the curtain. Those 2 boys were boys from my past. Now, again, disclaimer, a lot of these are delusions, and I just kind of made up a story, so I had something to write. So this is not a real depiction of my youth or my childhood or the people that these faces are linked to. It's stories of me trying to figure out what my life was. My fire buddy is gone. My old friend is here, but still needs to be dead to me. He will get into my head like a parasite going to eat up my foundation, wrecking my head, not even trying to ruin my life. That's just who he is, a wreck-it guy. A guy you call when you're trying to wreck your life. Someone that will never be able to step it up. Someone who never be able to step it up on the daily, be there in the stuff, the day in and out. He is just not the person for you. But I don't know that he's not that person for me, but that's what I wrote, and likely why we never worked out, because I lash I lash at him worse than anyone else, and it's because um, I know he understands that when I'm lashing like that, and I call lashing like worst thing I can say to the one person who loves me unconditionally. I don't do that on my medication anymore. A racket guy is only good for one thing. For one night only, the racket guy is like Cinderella. Just instead of the girl chasing the prince, I was the king. I was the queen in our story, and he was chasing me. He wasn't chasing me like ow. Yes, he was. He's my bestie. I'm sorry, wherever you are. He's my biggest fan. He's watching all these. Keeping me just close enough but never committing, leading me down the dark alleys, whether anyone likes it or not. We have history and a chemistry, and after years of chasing each other, dancing around, teasing each other, we found each other on a bad day. He had a black eye from only he knows, and I had smeared makeup from crying from fighting with my parents. Now we are together. Now we are at another slumber party together. The slumber party had tequila and a stereo, and lines were getting blurred. Not with the alcohol hitting my system. I did not drink it. There's something in me that was going to want to remember this night. The basement. Oh, one day I'll be past that. Anyway. I just sat there and stared at the cheese crusted in the glass, thinking about the dishes, trying to do the math on how many dishes my old friend's mom had to do. She had a million kids. It was like Home Alone. Where are they all coming from? Popping out of the rooms, just a busy mom not caring about cheese. And then in one of my delusions, I was like, it wasn't cheese in the cup. It wasn't cheese in the cup. It was most likely cheese in the cup. Like it was an extraordinary amount of cheese on the. It was crusty. You know when you can just tell. Like I think somebody made eggs in the cup, and like you just can't get it clean enough. And then he's like, "Here's a cup." So then I grew up, and I was like, "Was it not cheese? Was it not cheese? It is. It was cheese." This is one of my favorite paragraphs I've ever written. I didn't know what book it was in. I sat there and stared at the cheese crusted in the glass, thinking about the dishes, trying to do the math on how many dishes my old friend's mom had to do. She had like a million kids. It was like Home Alone. Where are they all coming from? Popping out of rooms. Just a busy mom not caring about cheese. When I was sitting on the floor, swaying to music, I was missing my mom. My mom was still with me, but the pills had her soul. And that night, my old friend had seen me at my lowest. He had a front row of my sadness, and feeling at my lowest, it was my 17th birthday week, and to add insult to injury, I told him my secrets. My entire life, I looked at him like a kid brother. My comfort level was high, and I would change in front of him, ask him for a pad, poop, pee, fart, laugh, and anything in between. Usually, our slumber parties, we would cuddle. My old friend putting the movie on to get everyone calmed down, making places to sleep on the floor, making sure that he got right behind his best friend, always behind me in the cuddle pile, right behind me, breathing me in, just a friend, of course. Let me read that again because I got distracted. When I was sitting on the floor swaying the music, I was missing my mom. My mom was still with me, but the pills had her soul. And that night, my old friend had seen me at my lowest. He had front row of my sadness. Feeling at my lowest, it was my 17th birthday week to add insult to injury. I told him all my secrets. My entire life, I looked at him like a kid brother. My comfort level was high, and I would change in front of him, ask him for a pad, I would poop, pee, fart, laugh, and anything in between. And usually, our slumber parties, we would cuddle. My old friend putting the movie on to get everyone calmed down, making places to sleep on the floor, making sure that he got right behind his best friend, always behind me in the cuddle pile, right behind me, breathing me in, just a friend, of course. Get close, friend, I am cold, cuddle only, no feelings, kid. I don't know if we ever said that, but now we did. No feelings, kid. We were the best of friends. We would wrestle, play fight, hike, and wander off, always getting lost together. The back and forth teasing went on for years, and each slumber party, the tension was building. This night was feeling different, feeling like we both wanted something. Then the mood shifted. The music was a little sadder, and he was drinking more than normal. And I think he is trying to work up the nerve to do something. He started pacing as the night was fading. You're going to miss your shot, friend. This night in November, when he handed me some tequila in a coffee cup, danced the night away. It was my birthday party he was throwing me. Dancing was endless, and then it started to hurt. Hurt that he was teasing me again. And I went and I pouted, thinking to myself, why does he mess with my heart? Something was bothering him. Then, like an explosion in the fabric of time, he jumps to my face with both hands, and he took his shot. I honestly think he regrets it because then I think we both regret it, but we have this epic story now. So released, released all the tension that had been building, attached like magnets down the hall. It is more private in there. This is not PG-13, but who cares? Friends standing at the door, heads hanging low. It's finally happening. We held back. We held nothing back for anyone to see. We are at the right level of depressed. We are at the right level of depressed to agree to this, hurting every friend we had by making this mistake. That right now does not feel like a mistake, just an axe that I needed to grind. Friends standing at the door, heads hanging low. It was finally happening. We held nothing back for anyone to see. We were at the right level of depressed to agree to this, hurting every friend we had by making this mistake. That right now does not feel like a mistake, just an axe that I needed to grind. And this story, at this stroke of midnight, he took back. He will, in this story, at this stroke of midnight, he will turn back into not the guy for you. He will disappear, leaving me feeling like a piece of trash, just like every addiction. This is like the most honest account of this, and this is more what I felt like. I went back and forth, and I also have split personality, so we all have a different opinion on what happened in the basement. God, what happened in the basement? Want the penthouse of your heart? Dramatic dance scene insert here. No other choice but to forget it happened, carrying on, trying to put it in the past. This is a small school, and unable to avoid his face, his gaze, pay no mind, flirt with new boys, make him jealous. Monday came. Did he walk over? No. Did he ask me how I was doing? No. Did he ignore me? Yes. What did I do? Look like a dime piece and flirt with every one of his friends and tell all of my friends about Thanksgiving break, about why those two good friends are not talking to each other, why they changed seats, get the entire school talking about, which I grew to regret that decision. Then I swept up the mess of my wrecking my friendship. Move on and try to deal with the regret from hurting my friend who is dating him, deal with hurting a guy that I kind of was talking to by sleeping with his friend, hurt my fire buddy by giving something away I promised. Now he was ignoring me at school. My best friend turned his back on me. He would not pick up the phone and settle our issues, and I never got resolution. He was stone cold to me, a person he told everything to. I was not just any girl. He was someone I called my brother, and as the days went on, my temper was elevating. Part 1 done.